Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching an ABC 10 Plus recap of stories you may have missed. AB 366, which mandates ignition interlock devices, also known as breathalyzer units for all DUI offenders, including first-time offenders, is moving forward. But there are concerns if the bill does not pass. Then, could a California staple be in and out of California soon? The To The Point team investigates the company's possible move. This ABC 10 Plus recap starts now.
They have called California home for the past 77 years. Now the CEO of InNOut says that they are moving out of the state. Lindsay Snyder is the granddaughter of InNOut's founders and has been running the company for years. She says that she's now moving the business to Tennessee. The announcement has many people divided on the issue, as you can imagine. But tonight, one California lawmaker is blaming the governor, while economists say that the state's policies are to blame. I want to bring in ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen, who joins us in studio with the details and, of course, the governor's response on all of this. Jeannie?
Well, Alex, the popular fast food restaurant CEO made this announcement during a podcast interview. And to be clear, a majority of InNOut stores will stay open, but the CEO admits it's been difficult raising a family and running a business here in the state.
Well, I can't say that I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed.
Often referred to as a California staple, InNOut's CEO says the company is moving east. Lindsay Snyder recently appeared on a podcast saying she will move her family to Franklin, Tennessee, and build an office there. She adds the company will still have its Baldwin Park headquarters and keep the majority of its stores open, but close its Irvine office. This is the first for the company, which has been in California since 1948.
Just in the last few years, we've lost Hewlett-Packard, Fidelity, Carl's Jr., now InNOut, Tesla, Chevron, Oracle, Charles Schwab. How many companies are we going to lose?
Last year, the company closed its Oakland location, citing crime. Senator Tony Strickland says things have to change on a policy level, or else we will continue to lose more.
I still think California's best days are in the future, but it just takes leadership. And right now we have failed leadership in terms of our governor and our legislature.
Despite the loss, financial experts say California remains firm as the fourth largest economy in the world.
From an economic vibrancy point of view, it's kind of amazing that California does well in spite of itself.
But experts warn the state's policies could be its downfall.
I think the tone needs to change at the top. Texas, Florida have a very welcoming tone towards the businesses that are coming out from California. They welcome the businesses from here. They say, listen, we want you here.
In a recent podcast interview, Governor Gavin Newsom said 40% of Californians pay lower taxes than in Texas and Florida, but acknowledged the steep taxes for high-income earners.
If your only constituency are rich people, then I understand we're a high-tax state.
In a statement, a spokesperson for the governor says California is proud to help Lindsay become a billionaire while growing the InNOut business and her family, adding the state is the #1 place to grow a business. Ultimately, lawmakers like Senator Strickland agree, but changes have to happen.
They should be here in California, and they should be growing and expanding in California.
Now, the governor's office adds California has more Fortune 500 companies than any other state and is a leader in trade, manufacturing, and AI innovation. We also reached out to InNOut, but did not get a response. Alex.
After years of complaints, a homeless camp in North Stockton is set to be cleared tomorrow. But now some homeless advocates are pushing back. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has a closer look at both sides.
Crews, including officers with the Stockton PD, have been out at this encampment all day getting ready for the big cleanup tomorrow. Community members who live in the area say they're ready too, but some people who live in the encampment say they're not. Today, dogs bark alongside the singing birds and rustling trees in this corner of North Stockton. But tomorrow will bring the sound of bulldozers. This encampment, nestled in the bushes and trees, set to be cleared.
Unfortunately, it's just been a crisis going on.
A crisis playing out almost literally in Michael Caton's backyard. A levee is all that separates his 23-year-old neighborhood from the trash, loose dogs, and debris.
You have guys walking down the street with knives and daggers, and they go to the community stores over here, and they're always stealing.
It has been here for approximately 14 years. And when I came into office, I made a commitment to the constituents that we'd get this area cleaned up. And thankfully, it's coming to fruition.
But the planned cleanup isn't the first. The state alone has spent more than $86,000 cleaning up this site.
Last cleanup means they just took away some garbage, and that was basically it.
The cleanup has doubled in size since that has happened.
Councilmember Michelle Padilla promises this time will be different.
What the city plans to do is come out here on a daily basis and ensure that the area doesn't get inhabited again.
We're 2 thumbs up.
Homeless advocate Jessica Velez is raising red flags.
I'm still waiting on a miracle.
She says most of the 20 to 30 people living at the encampment need more time.
Most of them have no plans. Most of them have nowhere to go. We just need to do this, intelligently, instead of just jumping the gun and throwing people out into the streets with all these animals.
I do feel sorry and compassionate for them as well, but not with the actions that they're doing in reference to this area.
You'll be back here tomorrow?
Absolutely. I'll be here bright and early to witness the cleanup.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
And the city says the cost for the cleanup has not been determined, but it will be shared between the State Lands Commission, the county, and other agencies involved. First on ABC 10, a new bill meant to tackle drunk driving just passed the Senate Public Safety Committee unanimously.
AB 366 is an opportunity for us to save lives, for us to stop these tragic and preventable deaths before the car even starts.
AB 366 would ensure all DUI offenders, including first-timers, be required to install interlock devices, like breathing devices in their cars, to prevent them from driving drunk. The current law doesn't apply for first-time offenders, and it's set to expire in January.
And at that point, we'd be the only state in the country that does not have any kind of ignition interlock requirement. So it's really critical that we get this done.
But the bill does have its detractors, given that the offender would have to pay for the cost of the device.
That has been addressed in the bill, and they've been able to adjust the cost per a person's income on a sliding scale. And I think they've got the cost down to as low as 25 cents a day if necessary. So cost should not be a prohibitive measure from us getting this passed. And for those of us who've actually been affected by a drunk driving crash, there is no cost. There's no cost too high or too low to save a life.
Rhonda Campbell with Mothers Against Drunk Driving is one of more than 60 organizations backing the bill, including the California Association of Highway Patrolmen and AAA.
We know that device is going to save lives, so we're hoping to get full support in the Senate to get that pushed through and that become a law in January.
AB 366 now heads to the Senate Appropriations Committee for a vote. Lawmakers are calling it the biggest step towards tackling drunk driving in California in more than a decade. Stay with ABC 10 for updates. Well, it was a very busy weekend for first responders here in California. More than a dozen people had to be rescued on the American River. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias was there as 6 people were saved by local heroes. Take a look.
On the American River, Metro fire crews rushed into the water to rescue 6 people. They were stuck upstream on an island near Riverbend Park in Rancho Cordova, and we were there to capture the entire rescue on camera.
We're coming downriver and we see one of the rafts. I think it was a pretty large raft, like a 10-person raft, and it was perpendicular to a tree that was sticking out of the water. And the currents were pretty quick, and we were asking them, do you guys need help or anything like that? And they said that they were good. They already called the county ranger.
All 6 people were brought back to shore safe and sound, but a little shaken up.
What I experienced right now was because I've been here before 2 years ago. We literally were going fine, and then out of nowhere, there was a tree in the middle of the lake, of the river, so we got caught.
Metro Fire Captain Mark Nunez says in this case, the group did everything they were supposed to.
Actually, this is really a success story because, one, they had the right style of raft. The raft survived. They were all in life vests, so if they would have fallen in the water, they would have been able to float. So this is actually a great outcome for another water rescue today.
But in some instances, the outcome is not as successful. Around 8 Sunday night, Metro Fire also helped save 7 other people stuck on an island. In the same location, 5 others were rescued on Saturday. Nunez says those people did not have the appropriate floating device and it popped, leaving them stranded. They all made it out safe. But on Saturday, crews responded to a call of a woman floating down the river.
Unfortunately, due to her injuries, she did not make it. We were able to get her out of the water, onto the boat, start advanced life support care, ALS care. From there, we flew her to the hospital where she was pronounced deceased.
Nunez says her family did not know she had gone into the water at the clay banks. He says this just goes to show that the American River is dynamic and even the most experienced need to be prepared.
It's the scariest thing, somebody could lose their life out there. We don't want that. We want people to be safe and have fun.
In Rancho Cordova, Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
And Metro Fire says the safest way to enjoy the water is to make sure you have a reliable raft. That does not include the ones you have in your backyard pool because those can easily pop. And also be sure to wear a life jacket. New at 6, a court battle between the California DMV and Tesla. The DMV says Tesla misled consumers about the self-driving capabilities of the cars. The DMV filed a lawsuit and wants to suspend the sale and manufacturing of cars in California for 30 days. Suzanne Fahn takes a closer look.
These lies have killed 58 people. They're going to kill a lot more people.
Growing concern about Tesla's fully self-driving function. On this Monday, critics rallied outside the Office of Administrative Hearings in Oakland.
Those cars are crashing. People are getting hurt and people are dying.
It's an issue that the federal government have been investigating since 2018. That's when Apple engineer Walter Huang was killed after his Tesla crashed in Mountain View while in autopilot mode. Then in 2022, surveillance video captured a white Tesla triggering an 8-car pileup on the Bay Bridge after suddenly braking. The Tesla's driver claimed it happened while the car was in full self-driving mode. Those crashes and many more leading to Monday's hearing to review a suit filed by the California DMV asking for a 30-day suspension on Tesla to prevent it from selling or manufacturing cars in the Golden State. The DMV maintains that Tesla misled people on the fully self-driving function. UC Berkeley professor Scott Mora is an expert in batteries, EVs, and automated vehicles.
Tesla has a technology product that they have branded as FSD, which stands for fully self-driving.
Mora says Tesla's automated technology is not at 100% yet.
It doesn't drive by itself completely in all situations, and the driver can have brain off and not pay attention.
Tesla argues that consumers are smart, and regardless of what their advertising says, people know that they are not autonomous. Haas School of Business professor James Solly explains how Tesla has marketed itself regarding the fully self-driving feature and what a suspension in sales and manufacturing would do to its brand.
Tesla has always pushed the envelope on this issue and promoted its capabilities and put its toe over the line, if nothing else. Tesla is already facing a long list of bad news. This would be one more piece contributing to that.
Also in Washington, both sides are increasing their calls for the Jeffrey Epstein files to be released. But President Trump says even if the courts gave the go-ahead, people will still want more. Perry Russum has the latest update from Washington.
After the Department of Justice asked the federal courts to release more information in the Jeffrey Epstein case, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say more needs to be done.
I think it's a start. I don't think we're ever going to get to the bottom of anything, all of it.
The Trump administration is running scared. What are they hiding from the American people? Release the files.
The DOJ asking the federal courts to make public grand jury testimony related to the convicted sex offender, writing in a motion, transparency to the American public is of the utmost importance to this administration.
My belief is we need the administration to have the space to do what it is doing.
Over the weekend, President Trump trying to get his supporters to move past their deep interest in Epstein, posting online, even if the court gave its full and unwavering approval, it will always be more. Epstein's former lawyer on Fox News saying the information requested from the grand jury is likely only a portion of what's in the files.
Grand jury information is narrowly tailored by prosecutors only to provide sufficient evidence to result in an indictment.
Alan Dershowitz says Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's co-conspirator, who's serving a 20-year sentence, should testify before Congress. Dershowitz calling her the Rosetta Stone.
She knows everything.
There is a push on Capitol Hill to have a vote calling on the DOJ to release the files. This vote would largely be symbolic, getting lawmakers on the record. They have no legal standing to force the administration to release anything. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Perry, thank you. The Trump administration and Harvard faced off in federal court today over billions of dollars in federal funding cuts. Here's what we know. The Ivy League school is taking the government to federal court, saying it was illegal and unconstitutional when the White House cut $2.6 billion in federal funding to the university back in April. The administration says the university has not done enough to address anti-Semitism on campus. Today in court, lawyers for the government asked the judge to dismiss the case, saying Harvard should have read the fine print, claiming the language in grant contracts allows termination if a university's actions don't align with government priorities.
They have asked for payroll records. They've asked for years of disciplinary files. They've asked for videos of all student protests going back to 2000. They've given extraordinarily rigid deadlines, a deadline of even just 1 week for those most recent demands.
The administration has also paused some funding for universities, including Columbia, Princeton, and Brown, over those protests. Multiple lawsuits have been filed to fight the crackdown. Of course, stay with us for updates there. But I do want to change gears now and bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods, because we got to talk about these conditions. Dare I say, cool conditions, especially at night, right?
I know, sweatshirt weather. And we're going to continue to see that, a near repeat of what we saw for today. It's just really, the question is, how long can it last? The breeze continues for tonight, topping those weather impact headlines. Tomorrow, below average, some sun and clouds. And looking ahead, we have those Sierra storms on tap. That's going to elevate the fire danger. I'll show you the focus area in just a moment. First, let's get into what's going on right now in the skies. We have the clouds starting to stream on through. A few showers just north of I-80 here. That's generally not going to be a big wetting rain for the Tahoe Basin. Instead, we're just going to be tracking the presence of some cloud cover coming in from this low to the north of us here. Once that starts to move off to the east, we're still going to find that cooler air mass locked into place throughout much of California, with below average temperatures to continue. You're going to see a whole lot of blue coming up on this map as we go day by day into our forecast. Average high so far 91.3, coming off a cooler than average weekend. Some pockets of some warm air over the weekend, but generally speaking, once we get those afternoon highs, the official reading below average, our average high 93 degrees. Looking at those highs for today, low 80s to mid 80s up and down the valley. 79 for Fairfield, 66 for San Francisco, 79 for Placerville. In the Tahoe Basin, we were in the 70s, so there's not a big wild swing from afternoon highs in the valley to the Sierra, which is normally where we see temperatures ranging about 20 to 30 degrees difference at times. Right now we have clear skies, but those clouds streaming in, temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Tahoe right now at 69 degrees. Sunset at 8:25. It's still going to be a lovely late afternoon and evening heading our way. Tomorrow for the California State Fair, we're expecting those highs to warm to near 80, kind of wrapping up the final days of the State Fair, which has largely been seen with favorable weather. Tomorrow's futurecast showing the low pressure system moving off to the east. A little feature starts to form just off the coast. That's going to give us enough instability to bring back the showers for the Tahoe Basin and slightly elevated fire danger. Once this moves inland, we're going to see those showers pop up right along the Sierra Crest. Not a whole lot of wetting rain, and so with the risk of lightning as well in the instability, we're going to elevate that fire danger. You can see right through the Sierra spine here. Most of that is going to be north of I-80 and through the northern Sierra all the way up towards Shasta, heading into our Thursday forecast. That's really going to be the day that we're going to focus on there. Highs in the 70s tomorrow for the Sierra, with overnight lows dropping into the 40s, so it's a cool start tomorrow morning. 70s and 80s throughout the foothills, and as we look towards the coast, a lot of low clouds, even some drizzle because that fog's so thick. Inland areas were in the 70s, and we'll pull in some of that cooler Pacific air again for tomorrow's forecast, keeping us below average, upper 70s, lower 80s throughout the entire valley. Here's where we start to see the active weather forming in the Sierra. Chance of showers and thunderstorms will take us right into the beginning of the weekend. For the foothills, we're looking at highs in the 70s and 80s, 60s along the coast. Again, pretty much we're socked in with fog for tomorrow afternoon. Highs will warm into the 70s tomorrow, a little warmer Wednesday and Thursday, but still about 10 degrees below average, and we stay there through Friday. Over the weekend, a little bit warmer, still below average. It's not until we get into next week that we start to see warming conditions. But even at that, Chris, you can see we top out in the mid-90s. That's only where we should be this time of year. It's going to feel warm, but no 100s yet on that forecast.
One of the few times we like being average or below average even, right?
Which is not something we normally see in California. We're usually on one end of the spectrum or the other.
Especially this time of year. Okay, Monica, thank you. Well, Well, we know wildfire season is now year-round here in California. ABC 10 created a special to prepare you for wildfires. We talk to survivors. We hear from the Red Cross on what to pack in case of an evacuation. And we learn how firefighters are training in more populated areas. Download the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app to watch California wildfires preparing for peak danger.
Well, starting this Friday, some of the best food in East Sacramento will be on display in what's become a big boost to dozens of businesses. Mark S. Allen has more on what's called Savor East Sack.
That's right, you guys. Good morning to you. Steaming cup of coffee is because Savory Sack starts at Tiferet by the park, the most charming coffee shop and the westernmost part of East Sac. Good morning.
Good morning.
I had to go back here to Luba because right when we got here, you shouted, "It may be the westernmost side of East Sac, but it is the best coffee."
It's the best coffee shop in East Sac for sure.
Why is that?
Because this is the place to be. Bring your friends here. We make you feel extra special. And all of our drinks are absolutely delicious.
Yeah, we'll find out about that in a minute. All right, Heather, not too soon to be talking about, Savory Sack. This Friday, it's happening.
Yep, this Friday, starting July 25th. We're doing a kickoff. It's going to be amazing. We're actually going to be kicking off here at Tiferet from 11 to 1. I believe you'll see East Sac Chamber here, or 9 to 11, I apologize.
Yeah.
But from July 25th to August 3rd, typically this is a slow time of year for our restaurants, our coffee shops, our bars. So we're here to support them, give back to them. They run specials, and then the East Sac Chamber comes in and does little giveaways throughout. That day also, we will be doing an inaugural kickoff and it will be a Chef's Challenge.
Yeah, the first time in 10 years you've done this. What is the Chef's Challenge?
Well, we will have 5 chefs that will be competing against each other. It's 5:30 to 8:30 on Friday, July 25th. Tickets are on sale now. We have a limited space, so it's an elevated event, summer elegance theme, and those chefs will have to use the summer produce and whatnot. They'll be making mini entrees, and the attendees will vote. So it's going to be really neat, to see how this plays out. Yeah.
Awesome. Distracted by a cup of coffee. Natasha, don't be a stranger. Come over here for a second. Cheers to you. What makes Tiferet different? What's the Tiferet by the Park difference?
The difference is the love, the glory, the gratitude that we have for our community, and truly enjoy every drink that's made with love, especially for you.
I'm sorry, I was tasting the love. This is good coffee. Man, nothing beats an iced coffee in the middle of summer, right?
I agree with you. Even though we always serve hot, don't be a stranger, stop by.
Yeah, don't be a stranger. Tiferet by the Park. We got elsewhere to go as we continue to savor East Sac. I got my 5 a.m. coffee. See you in the 6.
Welcome back in. I am Kevin John. Well, while most 11-year-olds are spending their summer vacation eating s'mores or playing video games, one particular 11-year-old out of Folsom is up at 7 a.m. every morning training to be the best, and now she's heading to the Junior Olympics.
Caitlin Abilo stands at just 4 feet 5 inches tall, but she can throw a javelin 103 feet.
I was watching the Olympics, the Paris Olympics, and I watched the track and field portion, and I saw someone throwing a javelin. I was like, yeah, I want to do that.
Not only can she do it, she excels at it. Caitlin has only been competing in javelin for a few months, and in that short time, she's become one of the top 20 throwers in the nation in her age group. Not to mention, she recently qualified for the Junior Olympics in Georgia.
I was really excited. I'm really happy to be going, and I'm really proud of myself because I haven't been training for that long, and I still got there.
Caitlin is a natural at the sport and continues to amaze people with her talents. One of those people is her personal coach, Joshua Groover.
I remember back to the first meet, she launched a massive throw, and a guy out of the crowd just goes, "Oh, wow." And so, that kind of just speaks volumes for how she throws and the dedication that she puts into it. Whatever she puts her mind to, she'll make it happen.
The 11-year-old has a determination and drive that's remarkable for someone that young.
If you want to do something, really just try, because you don't know if you're going to be good at it. If you look at something and you're like, oh, I want to do that, but you don't know, don't doubt yourself, and if you try, you can do it.
As for her future aspirations, she already has an idea on what she wants to accomplish.
I'd like to be an Olympian, and I also want to be like a teacher, like a personal trainer, and help kids that were my age once to throw and hit. how I did when I was their age.
Wow, so only 11 years old and already talking about inspiring the next generation. But she takes off for Georgia actually later this week to compete in the Junior Olympics, and she's fired up to say the least.
Thanks for watching this ABC 10 Plus recap. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.